This week on Dumb Pitches, my guest is DJ Sandhu, and we have a series of bad relationship ideas that then lead to maybe the quickest thinking revenge I've ever heard. And it's just an incredible story, even without the bad idea part, but it's a perfect combination of both. So you're going to love it. Here we go.
What a bunch of dumb pitches. Oh my goodness.
Welcome to another episode of Dumb Pitches with Monica Nevi. I'm Monica Nevi, your host. Our small business sponsor this week is Third Wheel Podcast Studio. How wonderful of a place. If you want to make a podcast or some other professional recording, there's a studio in Los Angeles or a studio here in Seattle where I record. It looks great, right? Crispy, beautiful. It's wonderful. ThirdWheelPodcastStudio.com. Check it out. All right, help me welcome my guest, DJ Sandhu, this week. Hey, buddy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited you were available quickly to do this.
Oh,
Not that it was last
I'm
minute,
always
but
available.
I was like, oh, we'll have to book out in a couple of weeks. Nope. You were like, I'll do it tomorrow. Fuck yeah.
I am in no demand. I am always available.
Perfect. Well, this is going to be a really great episode. Okay. Well, we always like to give everybody a little credibility and say you have had some good ideas, some success. This is the reason we're talking to successful people about their worst ideas. Okay. So we have to prove that you're successful. So, one of my favorite comedians, I think you're hilarious, but also you were in the World Series of Comedy and the Edinburgh Festival, which is, really impressive, actually, kind of a cool thing I've always wanted to do. So I'm a little bit jealous.
It's insane.
It's
that place.
What, a month
it's
long,
a circus. Right? Yeah, it's a whole the city of Edinburgh is like 400,000 people or something like that. During the month of August, it's 1.5 million people.
Oh my God! Wow.
And literally, if you have any business at all, that month it's a comedy club, and these shows are going from like 10 a.m. until 2 a.m. It's all day long,
every day.
And you book out like an hour. Like they have actual comedy clubs, they have theaters and stuff like that. But then like if you have a bookstore, you're going to be renting it out hourly to comedians, and it's insane. That city is gorgeous. I had never heard of it until I just kind of showed up in it.
I mean, I've only heard of it because of this festival, and I've heard of other people doing it. So, I think that's just the coolest thing. But then, yeah, so you book your hour show, like your show itself is the hour that gets in, and then you do it every day at the same time, or are you booking different places, or how does that work?
So pretty much you would book your hour slot, and you can do it with a group, or you can do it a solo thing or whatever. And it's not all just stand-up. Like there's some funky shows that go on as well. Like there's like ballet as well. And so like there's a bunch, it's an arts thing in general, but stand-up kind of took it over almost 100%.
That's great.
But there is like live theater and stuff like that too.
The funky
but
stuff.
if you only booked out your 1 hour for that month, what ends up happening is comedians from all over the world just pop in to each other's shows. And you just end up doing, like, I only had 4 shows booked, and I was there for a week. By the end of that week, I had done like 32 shows or something like that.
Oh my God! Wow, that's a lot of shows to do. Like even, I mean, the just keep booking more is amazing, but also just to do 32 shows in a week.
It's bananas, and it's all just because like comics pop in and they're like, "Hey, you'd be really good for this show that I'm doing." Or like you're at an after party and people are like, "Hey, I had a fallout. Can you swing by and do the slot?"
And every time you were like, "Yes, I can." I said yes to every single one. Yes.
and that was a bad idea because I don't know where anything is, and so it's like I'm getting out of my noon, and like you have a 50-minute slot, so like we're getting out at 12:50. And now I have 10 minutes to get all the way across town and battle 1.5 million people
Million
walking
people
the
go.
other
Oh,
direction.
God.
Because God forbid anybody's walking the same direction you're walking.
Right. Everybody was going to your show, so they'd just carry you there. That's impressive. That's really cool. All right. Okay. So you speaking of bad ideas, when I sent you what we were talking about, what were the bad ideas you came up with, or idea? What did you think of first?
Well, once I saw the relationships, I was like, oh God, this is going to be a 9 episode miniseries. There's no way I can put all those into one. Uh, I don't know, like yeah, relationships for sure. Because like my first ever like real girlfriend, because like you got to keep in mind, like my parents are an arranged marriage,
Okay.
so like my model for what love is and what a man should be in a relationship is it's fairly skewed compared to like the American scope of it.
Right.
Because here it's like, hey, if this person is treating you bad, get out, leave,
Yeah.
do what's best for your own mental health or your physical health. In Indian culture, especially like my parents' generation, uh, like the dude could just be coming home drunk and beating the family, and if the woman tries to leave, it's her fault for not trying to make it work. So it's like there's a lot of pressure to like you make this work, you don't
Right.
fail, uh, because what will the community think if your marriage falls apart? So when I first had a girlfriend, I was I was going to school full time. I had 3 jobs. Uh, she didn't have any jobs, and she was on her last term. So I was like, all right, let's just fucking get your school out of the way. We had a 1 bedroom apartment.
Okay. So wait, your first girlfriend you moved in with?
Yeah, my
And
first
this
like
was
proper actual girlfriend.
okay. Okay. And then
That we've been together for like more than a year.
mm-hmm.
Uh, so we had a spot together. I'm paying all the bills. I'm paying the cell phone. I'm paying fucking car insurance, like literally everything. Her brother comes to visit, and then he never fucking leaves. And then
So
her
now there's
mom
2
comes
people.
to visit, and then she never fucking
Oh my
leaves.
goodness.
Yeah, so there's 4 of us in a 1 bedroom,
And you're
uh,
paying for all of it?
and I'm paying for everything, because this is what my father would have done. It's like you make it work. You don't let your family fall apart,
Right.
especially if money's the reason. If money's the reason, then you just got to work harder and like break your back to make sure that you provide for everybody.
Right.
Which is a very, I mean,
Right. That's a
it's
nice
a romantic
thing. Yeah.
concept.
But
It's a romantic ideal.
if you're not the only person with that mindset in the group, like if you're not the like your mother also is like, yeah, that's part of what I'm doing. We got to keep it together, But if it's you paying for everything and your girlfriend's like, yeah, we'll just have other people move in, he'll pay for it. Like she's not having the same mindset of figuring out how to help.
Yeah, not at all. So when she finally got her own spot at the end of that lease, by the way, our fucking when we got our deposit back, they sent me a check for $1.
What? Why even?
Yeah, I was like, yo, this is so fucking petty. You should just.
Why not
I was
even
so.
send it? Yeah, like why? What? Not even 2?
I was like the amount of effort that you put in this writing this check. If you pay yourself hourly, like it just cost you more to even issue this check.
Yeah, exactly. That's.
But yeah, when she got
so
her
didn't
own
get her
place,
deposit
like
back.
our relationship was still kind of on the rocks. We'd been together for 3 years, and she was like, I would come home and she was like, well, you don't want to like have sex or anything. I'm like, well, I mean, I just got off of 2 jobs today, and I went to school, and now I come home and all the dishes are in the sink,
Right.
and like all the food is eaten, and
Your
like
mom's
the
watching
laundry
us,
isn't
yeah.
done, and I'm not the kind of guy that's like a woman's job is to take care of the house, but like if I'm doing all the other jobs, the least you can do is make sure that my daily things are in order so
Right. Well,
that I
also
can successfully take care of you.
yeah, and it's our daily things too. It's like a roommate. Like if you just all the dishes were in the sink, you'd still want your roommate to clean shared spaces or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. And so then I thought, well, maybe our relationship isn't working because there's not enough commitment. Uh, and so I went and bought a ring.
Sorry, just the thought process of How old are you at this time?
22.
22. Well, that explains some of it.
Well,
But
we got together at 22.
okay.
We ended it when I was at 25.
Okay.
Uh, and then I started thinking,
This is an interesting
what would
timeline.
make the commitment even more magical is if we had a baby. So I was like, you know what? Like these two people aren't working together. The best way to solve this equation is to add more humans.
Is to make sure that they cannot possibly leave each other.
Yeah. So I was trying to like anchor us to each other forever. That was a horrible. Luckily, that didn't take.
I was gonna say, wait, do you have? And then your kid walks
Yeah.
in. And
Oh Jesus. And then I found out that she was cheating on me with somebody I've known since 5th grade.
for how long? Not that that is my first.
Like
I'm
a
sorry
year.
that that happened to you, but it does seem like if those things were going on for a while, because you were together for 3 years, where you're paying for everything, but it doesn't seem like she's helping in any way, even at home. Then that to me says, okay, if she was cheating, it was probably for a while.
Yeah, it was like a year.
Wow.
And then
And someone
and the
you
only reason
knew.
why she told me about it was because he was trying to steal her from me, and he was like, "We should be together, about this and that." And then uh, he would like hold her hostage, kind of like he would be like, "If you don't come over so that we can hook up right now, then I'm gonna tell DJ that we've been hooking up for a while."
Oh, so she's just in super healthy relationships.
Oh yeah, very much.
Good lord. Okay. Wow. Well, and that was a friend of someone you knew.
That was yeah. He and I were on a dance team together.
No, not a dance, bro. He tried to steal
we
your
were
girl.
on we were on an Indian dance team together,
Okay.
where we used to do like these Indian culture shows and dress up in like these super elaborate ass,
Yeah, there's like
like
bright
fucking
colors and stuff.
crazy
Yeah,
ass
yeah.
like peacock turbans and shit, and like and I literally would choreograph the dances for this dance troupe,
Hell
and
yeah, I have
we
a friend that's in a dance group like that. That's crazy.
it,
That's
it
and
was
that.
wild.
So you knew each
I was
other
in competitive Indian dancing.
from
Uh,
then. And then it
and it was
backfired
folk
on you.
dancing at that. It was Indian folk music.
Wow, very specific.
Yeah, and she thought it was super sexy.
Apparently, she got two of them.
Yeah,
Um, sorry. That's. I mean, okay. So now he's playing. I guess not mind games, but that is a hostage situation. Is an interesting way to put that. But
yeah. He was like
it's
it was like
blackmail,
extortion.
basically. Yeah,
Yeah,
extortion. That's
it was like vaginal extortion.
vaginal extortion. If you don't come over here now, I'm going to tell him. But that's what he wanted anyways, right? Because if he was going to be with her, she would have to tell you.
Right.
So he kind of didn't care. So she ends up telling you because he's trying to make her choose.
She told me because she was moving she was moving with her family back in the Midwest. I almost said Middle East.
Midwest, Middle East, whatever.
Back to the Midwest, and then when she got there, she emailed me and she was like, "This is what happened," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And the only reason why she told me is because he was about to tell me, because he was like, "If you don't move back here, then I'm gonna tell him."
Damn. She's.
And
I mean.
yeah,
Wow. Okay.
but I mean, we're kids, like.
Yeah, you were
And then
young, and you
but then
learned.
it turned into a good idea.
So you broke up. Yeah.
Once we broke up, I hooked up with one of her friends,
Okay.
uh, who I didn't know. I hadn't met her when her and I were together.
Mm.
I just met her randomly through mutual friends at a house party, and we got together. We're dating for a while, and everything's going. Everybody knew about me. Like we were very public about it. And so one day, it's a Thursday. I'm working at a pizza spot at this time, and so I uh, uh, I don't get Fridays off ever. So I text her. I'm like, "Hey, I have tomorrow off. Let's go do something romantic. Like let's have like a picnic or something. Like let's go to the zoo." I'm a very sappy person, and she was like, "I can't." She's like, "We can't see each other anymore." And I was like, "What? We just had like a hella good date." And she was like, "Yeah, I'm getting married on Saturday."
Oh my goodness. What?
Yeah. And when I say everybody knew about me, I mean like her parents knew about me, her sisters knew about me, her fiance knew about me. And her fiance, when she would get into a fight with her fiance, she would be like, you know what? I don't need this. I'm gonna go hang out with my boyfriend. And then she would just come pick me up and then we would go do whatever.
And you
Like it was
didn't know about him.
no idea. I'm the only one that didn't
All
know.
right. Well, now there's a
Like,
pattern of you maybe not noticing that these women aren't very
yeah,
nice.
for real. But I mean, I grew up as like this very insecure, uh, like just this weak dude. So like all these experiences like molded me into the asshole that is before you today.
Well, I was gonna say, at least
Uh,
you're learning some. I mean, I have these thoughts sometimes where I'm like, I'm glad some of the things that happened to me when I was younger, because I wouldn't want to wait until I'm 30 to have someone treat me
to
poorly
learn
and be
this
like, oh, I
lesson,
didn't know people were fucking secretive and dirty liars. Why?
yeah.
Wow, that's okay.
But that was a bad idea. So here's where it becomes a good idea.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sorry, I was like, hold on, that was supposed to be the good idea right now. Okay.
so after I find out about that, like 6 months later, I'm at another house party, and married girl's sister is at that party, and we always had a thing that we never really said anything
Some
about.
tension. Okay.
But she looked like Rihanna when Rihanna came out at that time, like the Pond the River or Pond the Replay Rihanna.
Yeah.
Like fucking, she was gorgeous. Uh, and I see her at this party, and she was like, "I'm so sorry. I wanted to tell you, but like that's my sister, and I couldn't really put myself in the middle of it." And I was like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's done." And she was like, "For what it's worth, I always thought that you were really cool, and like you're way better than this guy, and blah 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 this and that." So me and her hook up, and while I'm hooking up with her, I grabbed her phone and I called her sister from her phone, so that when her sister picked up the phone, she heard her saying my name.
Oh my god.
Good idea.
Wow, that is fucking devious. But okay, there's so many layers to all of this. Like, I just have so many questions, but wow. I think what happens, it's a real metamorphosis story here of you having this younger version of yourself where you're like, this is what it's supposed to be like. I'm going to hold on to this relationship that clearly you shouldn't have. Bad idea. Kind of hardens you. Then you start dating this other person who also hurts you. And then you've learned enough to be like, oh, I see what people are doing. Let me grab this phone real quick.
Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same story arc of Topher Grace in Spider-Man when he becomes Venom.
Okay, yeah, you're Venom now.
He's like, you know what? All this shit has made me toxic. I'm no longer going to be a good guy. Fuck this.
Right, you lean into the toxicity, and then when did you start doing
But
stand-up?
but here's the thing: is we consider being vindictive a negative trait, right? But we consider being vindicated a positive thing. But you cannot be vindicated without having been vindictive first,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's it's very much like the means justifies the ends.
Yeah.
But we don't look at you in a positive light on your path to vindication.
Right, it's not until the ends itself do you go, okay, that makes sense. But you, yeah.
By the way, I don't think anybody looks at me in a positive light for hooking up with their sister and calling her in the middle of it. No, I'm not saying that I'm a good
think
guy
you're a
by
couple
any
of
means.
dudes' heroes at this point, but you're I don't know if they're like, yeah, justice is served. But I think to the point of like, you're not the hero of the story necessarily. But it's bad guys are smart for the most part, you know what I mean? Like, that's not that you're a villain, but it's like the thought process there is, it comes from learning, and it comes from having the experience of making the bad choice or the bad idea or holding on to the bad idea for too long, to then have learned enough to be quick enough to be like, oh, I know how I was hurt. I know what hurts. So let me think quickly to be like, here, I'm going to get you back real quick. Like, it's a smart, as interesting as, I don't know. I mean,
Well, I mean,
she hurt you. I don't
I was
necessarily feel bad for her, you know? Like, maybe I should, but I don't. I think that's funny.
well, they're horrible people. It's a terrible
Right. I
family.
mean, yeah. And for the whole family to not have told you. I don't know. That's just.
Yeah, it was a weird, but I mean, I was a criminal. Like, I was a very, I was a bad guy. That's what made me good at crime is what has made me good at comedy is I can see things from a different angle. Uh, like if we're both looking at a Pepsi can, like we can both identify that it's a Pepsi can, but I'm reading the ingredients on the back when you're just looking at the logo.
Right.
So what made me good at crime is what made me good at comedy is what made me good at revenge. Uh,
Yeah, that's okay. When did you start stand up?
uh, so the girl that I was with for 3 years that ended up cheating on me with the kid I'd known since fifth grade. Her and I, when we were in our one bedroom apartment one day, and I couldn't afford to do anything at all, we're sitting on the sofa, we're watching TV, and Vince Morris is a hilarious comic. His special was on Comedy Central. And while we're sitting there, I was like, I think I want to do this one day. And she was like, you can never do that.
Oh, that's a good indicator.
And so once we got out of that relationship, then I started really, because I tried it while we were together. And I was like, I'm going to put a pin in this because I don't have time to do this and
Right. 3 jobs.
support a family of 4.
Right. That I'm.
and go to school. So once I finished school, we broke up St. Patrick's Day 2010.
Okay.
And so wait, was it 2000? No, 2009.
Okay.
No, that's right, 2010. And I had just started going. I started doing comedy like May 2009.
Okay. So yeah, I mean,
And
well,
so
not to play into the like, oh, you find comedy at the right time and when you've been hurt, but like it does kind of coincide with all this story, which is impressive.
yeah, well, I mean, also I'm 25. I just finished college. I just got my first big boy job.
Yeah.
Like I was in a huge transitional phase. Like chances are, even if she wasn't playing around on some other guy, chances are we would have broken up anyway.
Right. Well, that was my other question was, so you bought a ring because you felt like, okay, we should be more committed. Did you ever actually propose to her? Did this come up before that? No. Okay.
No, it was after we broke up. I told her like, oh my God, I bought this ring. She was like, it's not fair to tell me about this now.
You're
and I was like, well, I mean, yeah, you're really the victim here, aren't you?
Yeah. So did you ever hear, did she answer the phone when you called? Did you ever hear how that went? Did the girl know that you were calling her sister?
She did not know.
Okay.
She didn't know that I was doing this. So that was less than consensual.
Just
and
the
it is
phone
kind of
part.
fucked up that I used her as a pawn in this revenge plot. But I mean, I was fucking, what was I, 22 or something? I don't know. I was young. This is why I don't think that the voting age should be 18. Like,
right.
I think it should be 20. I think it should be 21 for girls and 25 for boys.
I mean, I would agree with that. Yeah.
I think that it should coincide with whenever puberty ends for your gender. And girls hit puberty earlier and they end puberty earlier. Boys are a few years behind. That's why you can't rent a car until you're 25. Is because your frontal cortex isn't developed yet. You're making horrible decisions. You're
right. We got
hooking
all
up with engaged women and then fucking their sisters after that. Like,
yeah, and then you don't want these young guys in the voting booth calling whoever they're not voting for and be like, I'm voting for Biden. Hope you can hear this.
right. That would be hilarious to leave a message on like a Trump campaign voicemail.
Just wanted you guys to hear it.
Just FaceTime them and show them the ballot. Like,
I mean,
just gotta dig that knife a little.
That's true. I mean, there's so many internet trolls. I wonder if people posted, like, and then like tagged him in and be like, I'm voting for someone else. What a wild story. Anyways, like I understand there was plenty of bad ideas I mean, maybe not even maybe the beginning of the relationships, but I feel like it's the staying with in the first one, you know, and then I mean, I don't even know if I can really blame you for the second one because you didn't know. You didn't know that she. If someone had and introduced me to their family, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm the only
we're
one.
good,
We're
right?
together." Yeah. So there's no way that you could have seen that coming, especially to be getting married. It's not even like, "Oh, I'm with someone else or I've been seeing other people." It's like I'm getting married tomorrow.
Yeah, in 48 hours.
Right. I'm sorry I can't hang out with you on your day off. We have a rehearsal dinner. Yeah, that's just, it's so.
Yeah, it's wild. So they're divorced.
Keeping tabs, figuring out how it's all going. How,
couldn't have seen that coming.
right. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, I just don't think that threats should be a part of a relationship, like in any way.
Never. Yeah, never.
So to be like, well, if you don't do that, I'm gonna go hang out with my boyfriend that you seem to know about, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's a agreed upon thing. Oh, what a weird.
Yeah, that was wild. But here's the things, like I don't like you're saying, like you're glad that these things happen to you when they do happen to you, so that you can grow and become a better person and a stronger person. And I mean, it does in a fucked up way. It teaches you empathy as well.
Yeah.
Because now you can understand how somebody else is hurt by your own actions based upon the hurt that you've experienced by others.
Right.
And I don't hate any of these people. Like I never even think about these people. It's just,
you're on a podcast.
I've learned to start forgiving people, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because I deserve peace.
Yeah. Oh, that was beautiful. That's nice.
And it's just not worth it to just let them deteriorate your mental health.
Well, they're not a part of your life anymore, so they shouldn't be a part of your life in any way, even thinking about them. So, especially
because then if I met you and we had so much in common and we hit it off and we fall in love, I can't treat you with the disdain that I had for these people in the past.
Well, and I think we've all, at least at our age, 30s and on, have had the experience of being with someone where something from a past relationship comes into yours and you're like, I didn't do any of that. I'm not that person. I didn't,
right.
So now you're treating them in a way that has nothing to do with them, and potentially you lose something that could be good because you are holding on to something else that happened. I don't know. So I mean, I'm sure with any adverse thing that happens in your life, you can go, well, there was good stuff because I grew from it and whatnot. But now, I mean, it seems like, because you went from being cheated on to being the other person, so you kind of were both things, even though you were lied to in both scenarios. So that gives you perspective of so many different angles. And so if you wanted to use that for good, which is not in the end of this story, did you? But you could, now putting it forth in your relationships moving forward, you understand where all the different angles of pain can come from. So maybe you wouldn't treat people that way. Or
so
how
now
to really get them.
Now I'm just either not in a relationship or I'm in an open relationship.
Well, now you know that about yourself, because an open relationship that you know about.
Exactly. Where I'm like, because like the girl that I'm dating now is in porn. And so like, I don't have to worry about whether or not she's sucking another dick. Like the lights are on. I know for fact she sucked another dick.
Right. She paid for dinner last night. She sucked a dick, okay?
There's hardcore evidence that there are other men involved.
But it's not like tomorrow you text her tonight and go, hey, I don't have a show tomorrow. Do you want to hang out? And she's like, oh, awkward. I have a porn to film. And you're like, what? Like, that, it's like if she just all of a sudden had told you that you were, there's nothing. I'm all for other people finding a relationship style to function for them, but communication, no matter what, and as boring as an answer as that is the most important part of any type of relationship, no matter how traditional or not it is.
Or communication is the problem and they need to talk to each other way less.
We're just
It's like
gonna
maybe if
have
you guys
sex.
stopped communicating, you guys would be in a much better place together.
Maybe, but you gotta go one or the other. That's all. There's no middle ground.
But speaking of relationship and good ideas, congratulations.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it has been a pretty good idea.
Yeah, and I can promise you, every single comic IG stalked or Facebook stalked the shit out of your fiance and
Oh,
was
I
like,
know.
God damn, Monica, way to swing for the fences.
Some people some people were like, congratulations, and a few people were like, oh, way to bat out of your league. I was like, thank you. But I mean, I'm not mad about it.
No one is out of anybody's league. And as a comedian, you should know that because you have seen some horrendous fucking trolls of a human go home with the most gorgeous women on the fucking planet.
That is true, yeah.
Every night. So nobody is out of your league. You're not in a league. We're all just humans. And
just dropping knowledge over here. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm very happy. But one of our favorite pastimes is to hear the gossip about other people's relationships. So I genuinely enjoy it.
I was dating this girl one time, and like our favorite thing to do. The only reason why it didn't work out is because she moved to New York, but it was a very good relationship. And one of our favorite things to do was like when we were in public and we saw a couple fighting, like we would just like get a closer seat and snuggle up and like just like get like real snuggly and lovey dovey and be like, oh babe, I'm so glad we're not them. And
just like right next to him. Oh,
there's one time we're in Oakland and this couple's going at it, and we're at the bar top and they're right behind us. And while they're fucking just screaming at each other, I turn around and I get down on a knee and I fucking propose.
How fucking awkward would you feel if you were like so mad? You're like, oh wait, hold on, let's not ruin their proposal situation by screaming at each other. Like, look what you gotta look forward to. No, that's hilarious.
It was hilarious. She was like, you were such a fucking asshole, but these free drinks that we're about to get is going to be absolutely worth it.
Yeah. Well, we got engaged with, not at a restaurant or anything, literally just in our bed, which is the way I've always hoped it would happen, just alone. I don't like a big, to do about it.
Yeah.
But then because it was COVID, it's like, for what do we get until we get married, we're going to tell everyone we got engaged that day. So then we get free drinks or a cheese plate or whatever it is, because restaurants weren't even open when we did get engaged. So we're going to ride it out. I want some free stuff.
Yeah, it's like reparations. Like, this is something that they owe to you.
Yeah, you owe us some free stuff because we couldn't even celebrate.
I was thinking about that, like, can you go into a Baskin Robbins and be like, yo, I was on quarantine during my birthday. I missed my free scoop.
You should be. I think we're making it a rule now and just be like, no, they said it was okay. So that's fine.
I'm going to walk into Chevy's and be like, you owe me 2 sombreros.
Yes, I think worth a try. Tell us how it goes.
Go to Chili's and be like, where's my fucking lava cakes? I don't like.
Right.
I just lie and say it's my birthday anyway. They never ID you.
Oh yeah, no one ever checks. And also, like, who's gonna be like, it's not your anniversary or whatever? No one's gonna.
Yeah,
say that.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
That's not
gonna happen. I would always, because when I worked at Chili's and people would be like, oh, it's his birthday, huh? I was like, I know it's not, but this place they don't pay me enough for me to fact check.
Right. You're like, whatever. Here's some ice cream or whatever it is. Do you want
us
to
coming
sing
out of my
to you
pocket.
like assholes? I don't care.
I'm worried about my tip. I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, you're like, it could be everybody's birthday for all I care. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll fucking just tell me that you want a free cake. Don't even.
Hey, I'm gonna do a basket of fries and can I free cake? That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, and like, you know what? I don't want to force you to come over here with all your coworkers and sing happy birthday to me like
what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, just clapping like a seal at the circus.
Doesn't that make you feel good about aging? Oh man.
No, it's fucking humiliating. You just have to sing happy birthday to a stranger in somebody else's section
And they never fucking
as a
want to do it
grown
either. And
man.
they're just like sitting there like, okay, thanks. You know, no one's ever like,
Yeah, and
woo, sing to me. Like,
no, they always have the nerve to be like, "Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed. Oh my God." I'm like, "You're embarrassed? I'm a 30-year-old man with a college degree singing happy birthday to a stranger. You don't know what shame is."
get out of here. Fuck. And also, like, you went to Chili's on your birthday. You know, that's not my fault.
For real, whenever people would come in on like Valentine's Day, or I used to do a bit about this, I should bring it back, but I was like, if your dude takes you to Chili's on your anniversary, he does not love you.
I'm just telling you now.
He
Oh,
doesn't. That means he put zero thought or effort in it. He just realized that it was your anniversary that morning. He's like, fuck, I can't make reservations now. I got this 2 for $20 burning a hole in my pocket. Let's see if we can.
see what coupons I got. That, yeah, he doesn't love you. Oh, God. All right. Well, this has been a very fun episode. Where can people find you? Social media, website? You're doing lots of live shows so people can come and see you.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough that the lockdowns haven't really affected my career because my entire career existed in B markets only. So I'm still rolling on every TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. It's DJ Sandhu 20. That's DJ SANDHU 20. And then for live shows this weekend coming up, I'm going to be in Lexington, Kentucky. Next week, I'm at the Tropicana Laugh Factory in Las Vegas. The week after that, I'll be at the Miami Improv and Bonkers in Orlando. And then there's a bunch of other things coming up.
Yeah, working hard. But just follow him on social media. I mean, you do a good job posting where you're going to be and all that stuff. And fun
I'm a very easy person to assassinate.
Yeah. This is great. Thank you so much for being here. Do all the things you're supposed to do. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give it a like. If you're on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on Apple, subscribe, rate, review. I don't know. Just do it all. Let's get it more popular. Tell your friends. It's going to be wonderful. It's fucking different on every platform, so I don't even know. Whatever you're on, do the thing. And check out Third Wheel Podcast Studio if you want to make a podcast or you just want to watch some of the other great products they're putting out. Check out Third Wheel Podcast Studio on the internet. And Monica Nevi, you can follow me. How about that? But right now, why don't you just keep watching Dumb Pitches?
You're weird.
Yes.